In this episode, we're going to take a deeper look at the release of information from the Invennium Corporation this week and find out what we know about Arcade Colony and just drill in a little bit. If this sounds interesting to you, please stand by. Hey all you Splinterheads, welcome back. Bronze Dragon here, bringing you a second look at the announcement from Invennium Corporation we had at the end of last week about Arcade Colony. Thanks for dropping by. I do appreciate your time. If you like this kind of content, please leave a like and think about subscribing after you've watched a few videos if you like it. So with that said, let's go ahead and dive in. So last Friday evening, 4 or 5 days ago, Agro had dropped something into Discord, and it was a surprise to me. I think it was a surprise to a lot of us because we hadn't heard from him in a while. So it was a good surprise. So basically, it's a new release from the Invennium Corporation. It's basically telling us what he's been up to. So let's go ahead and take a look. Yesterday, I put out a video on Friday. It was just kind of like a, hey, be aware of this type video. But this one's going to take a deeper look because he released more information yesterday. I wanted to get it out last night, but things got in the way. So let's go ahead and take a look. As always, I will leave a link to the two articles we're going to reference in this video, the Peak D article and also the white paper. This is not going to be a deep dive on the white paper. I will do that at a later point, but this is looking at the Peak D article, which gives us all the basic information around what he's going to talk about on Friday, which is going to be a live stream and display of the game that was announced. Okay. Let's go ahead and dig in. So I'm over here on the Peak D article, and if you've been around for a while, you know that Invennium covers basically everything except for Splinterlands and the tower defense game. There may be something else that falls on the other side, but I'm thinking pretty much that Invennium covers GLS, and we're going to go into what else it covers here as well. So, and that is what Aggie is in charge of now. So the first thing they want to announce is the major thing they're announcing right now is Moon Karts. Okay, so Arcade Colony is the actual platform that Moon Karts is going to sit upon. So let's go ahead and read through. I'm not going to read it through word for word. I'll leave the link, like I said, in the show notes. If you want to go back and read it, you can, which I would encourage you to if you're going to put money into it. So the Invennium Corporation currently operates GLS, a platform for sports games, which currently runs the soccer/football game and hosts the first game, which is called Goals. Major League Soccer Players Association. Invennium is forking parts of the Genesis League sports platform to build a platform for arcade and video games, exclusive of sports games. So sports games are still going to fall under GLS. If they develop another sports game other than soccer, it's going to fall under GLS. Okay. Arcade Colony is going to host everything else. So this new platform is called Arcade Colony. Arcade Colony will have its own token economy. Now, I want to get into, I don't want to really drill really deep into the tokenomics, but I want to get enough information out there so if you're thinking about it, you can kind of read more information about it. The ecosystem includes a product-backed stablecoin named Script, which is going to be worth $1 per script, okay, and a governance token named Colony, which is would be very similar to SPS under Splinterlands. Initial token distribution based on ownership of GLX and GLUSD on the GLS system or on the platform, as well as staked tokens in liquidity pools, is partially described below in more detail. So they're going to do a fork, and they're going to do an airdrop, and it's going to be based upon how much GLX and GLUSD you hold. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into more details. Now they talk about Web2 upgrades to Web3. The main thing about this idea is something I've went into in the past and something that really excites me, okay? So it's the idea of being able to take a Web 2 game, just your standard Web 2 game, which there's thousands of them out there right now, and being able to convert it into a Web 3 play system, okay? Integrate it into the blockchain, add tokenomics to it, etc. Okay, so I think, and this is just my personal opinion, but I think that one of the main stumbling blocks with Web3 games currently is, and I've talked about, Splinterlands with this and everything, and I've got poo-pooed a little bit about it, but the main stumbling block is we're trying to get mass appeal, right? And to get mass appeal, you have to go past the standard user base that we're currently using, which is primarily males who are interested in crypto, right? And then partially into games, okay? So we need to cross that barrier, cross that wall, and get mainstream into a game where people like to play the game, and it's much easier to get into and playing where there's far few hurdles, okay? So obviously it would be nicer to get a big name attached to that as well. And there's been multiple people talking about that as well. Most recently, my guildmate KGM Jam, who has a channel on YouTube as well, which is worth checking out. I'll tell you, go check that out. But he was talking about IPs and bringing basically big named games or gaming houses into, which would make a huge difference. However, I digress a little bit. The major hurdle there is getting mass appeal. And to me, one of those barriers to cross is getting onto mobile. Because if you follow the gaming, PC gaming is fine, but console gaming dwarfs PC gaming, okay? And on top of that, mobile games dwarf console gaming, okay? So there's so many people in this world that have a phone or a tablet in their hand, okay? In my opinion, the name of the game is getting into the mobile atmosphere. Now, I'm not a big mobile player. Don't get me wrong, okay? In fact, flash forward a little bit, sneak peek at my opinion here. One of my things I have against this new game that I'm probably not going to play, I might invest in, but I probably won't be playing on a daily basis, is the fact that it's mobile only. That's flashing ahead a little bit. But on this topic, basically, they have an infrastructure in place where they can convert Web 2 games into Web 3, okay? And they've done the work, and now they're offering it up as a service and to get paid for, by other companies who want to put their games out there and convert them to the Web3. Okay, so that's what we're talking about here. And then they say, this is a boon to the Hive ecosystem as games played and transactions make the Hive accounts, resource credits. People need resource credits and staked Hive to be able to use those. So it would help the Hive infrastructure overall to have more people onto it. Now, at what point would the Hive infrastructure be kind of clogged as far as slowing down from too much usage? Who knows? But that's another bridge to cover. Okay. So another point here that I want to point out that is very similar to what they talked about with the upcoming changes to the new user experience in Splinterlands is the fact that they're going to allocate Hive resource credit delegation to new players on the blockchain so they can get up and started. Very similar to the idea of having staked SPS to new users so they can get up and started in Splinterlands. Two very similar ideas. Okay, so the new game, as we all know, if you've been paying attention, is Moon Karts. Okay, so to just kind of wrap this up, what this sounds like to me is like a Mario Kart type version, okay? You buy cards, you level up your character, which is a driver, you level up your cart in some fashion, and you race. You actually race. It's not just a card game. You're actually racing. However, it is, at what this says, is limited to iOS or Android at this time. Now, they may announce that they're coming to PC later on. I don't know. But it says the inaugural game on Arcade Colony's Moon Karts, a Web3 play-to-earn kart racing game built on the Unity engine, which is important, which means that a lot of other Web2 games built on the Unity engine could be ported over. Players can purchase packs to collect drivers, carts, and accessories, which enables them to compete in multiplayer races. Moon Kart introduces an innovative earning system through leaderboards, skill-based rankings, in-race coin collection, and referral programs. So those are the basic ways that you can make your crypto off of this game. Okay, placing high on the leaderboard, skill-based ranking, which plays hand in hand with leaderboards, collecting the coins when you're racing around, and trying to get out of the race with the coins you collected without being shot or whatever, and also referring people. Each game is up to 6 players to race at a time. On the tracker coins, which are collected, you can earn based on the rewards. Be careful, your opponents have the ability to shoot your vehicle, to slow you down, knock you off course. Very much similar to other kart racing games we've heard of on consoles. Players purchase and collect NFTs, upgrade them through combining them and increasing stats like health, speed, handling, coin storage capacity. As you increase the quality of your card collection, you have the ability to earn more colony, which is one of the tokens, as well as advance in ranked play for honor and fame. Okay, so this tells us it's basically all about advancing your cards, just like other card games we played, like Splinterlands, but then using those in-game to race. Then he goes on to say the Moon Karts games has been in development for nearly a year, and the initial game loop is already functioning. Work needs to be completed after the Arcade Colony platform is stood up to connect in-game assets to blockchain assets, but the game is already playable, and a demonstration of the game will be on display on the GLS Discord at 1 p.m. Eastern on Friday, February 2nd. So I wanted to bring that up. They will be having a live Discord session where they will show the game, a game loop. Okay, but this paragraph also tells me that while the game is playable Web 2 type, it doesn't have the Web 3 assets linked to it yet. Okay. Further, at the time of launch, the game is expected to function within a standard iOS and Android mobile application, like I just said, and we aim to have Moon Karts as downloadable apps in both stores. Here's a note. Please expect some turbulence with the app stores as they do not tend to be friendly towards crypto applications. So what that means, I don't know. What it does sound like is, I don't know. It sounds like they may go live on a Web 2 type. Until they get that Web 3 part added to the game, I don't know how much I would be interested in. And I'm not a big, I do play a few little games on my phone, but I'm not a big primary mobile game gamer. So referring back to what I said earlier, I don't know how much I'm going to put into this. Now, if they show that the airdrop's worth it, I might invest in it and get, play off the airdrops, but I don't play a lot of games on my phone and tablet. I'm a PC gamer through and through. Okay. So it looks like the first pack sale is called Alpha Centauri. Moon Karts Alpha Centauri will be offering 500,000 packs for sale, with an initial pre-sale starting at the time of launch, end of February 2024. 50,000 packs are available in a pre-sale where players are able to snag a short-term exclusive promotional card, a legendary kart driver, which will not be accessible in packs later. So he's going to be a one-off, right? Further, the top 4 purchasers of packs in the presale will be able to add flavor and influence details regarding drivers, which will be airdropped during the main sale. So the top 4 purchasers will be able to work with them and pick out details about the 4 airdrop kart drivers, much like they've done, much like Splinterlands has done in the past, where if you were a big buyer, then you could help do a summoner, so much like that. Okay, so packs contain 5 cards, and a pack will cost $5 or 5 script. Like I said, 1 script is equal to $1, with 50% of the proceeds going to the Arcade Colony DAO, which very much the same thing as what's happening in Splinterlands now. Players may additionally choose to stake cards to receive NFTs of highly skilled drivers, which will be accessible in packs after the airdrop has occurred. So this tells me that there's going to be something in place very much like we have Mage Wagon. So a lot of these things sound like they're taking lessons learned from Splinterlands and putting them into play with Moon Karts. Fine. I mean, why break something that's, or why reinvent something that's working, So sounds fine to me. There will be 4 airdrops, which are unlocked after 100,000 K sold for the first 400,000 packs. Like we said, there'll be 4 airdrops, 1 promo card, and 4 airdrop cards total. Any old, and this is important to note, any unsold packs will be burned in the first game update following December 31st. So right up front, they've already went through and decided there's going to be a burn event at the end of the year 2024. Whatever's left gets burnt. There's no, putting things up for a vote. It's just, it's going to happen. 200,000 packs will be available as rewards for playing Moon Karts through approximately the end of 2024. So this sounds very much like how we used to get packs in chests, very much like that. Who knows how it's going to come out, but you will have packs available as prizes in-game. 50,000 packs will be available to Invennium to use as a promotional tool. Players can increase their odds of higher quality cards by purchasing Gold Flux to increase the chance of gold foil NFTs, and dynamic flux to increase the chance of legendary cards. So very much like potions in Splinterlands. And here they go over the name of the company that developed this game, called Salv. Invennium is proud to announce a dynamic collaboration with Salv, a cutting-edge Web3 native game studio and software agency for the development of Moon Karts. Talks about them a little bit. Cool looking cart, looks more like a race car. I'm into race car driving games. I don't know how much I would be into. I would be more into this game, like I said previously, if it were on PC. If that's the way it's headed in the future, I might be interested in it. Mobile wise, I don't know. But I do know that I'm psyched about it because, back to my initial point, is I think one of the big things that needs to happen with these games is they have to get their foot into the door with mobile games. And here we go. Okay, because it's such a huge market. The market for mobile games is huge. The market for what I want to call like skins and just graphics, people paying for graphics in games is huge. And it's generally with the younger generation. It's not generally with my generation, because I look at things completely different. I look at things that if I'm going to pay for something, it better give me a plus in the game. It better give me value. I'm not about the looks. I've run through MMOs and everything in the past and just been the most ragtag guy. If it wasn't a piece of armor that upped my skill, something or other, I didn't care about it. I didn't buy things. I don't buy things just for looks. But it's proven across the business that I am in the minority, because the younger generation loves the flashy graphics and they'll pay for it. So from a business proposition, it's great. Okay, so then they go about the Arcade Colony Discord. They do have a Discord started up, so I will leave the link here. You can join it if you're interested in it, and they're also looking for people to do content on it and advertise it a little bit. Okay, so here we talk about Colony and Script, which are the 2 coins in the game. Okay, the initial distribution of Colony and Script will be based on a snapshot of the GLS ledger to take place at noon Eastern Time on Tuesday, February 27th. Okay. Accounts staking GLX will receive a 1-to-1 account balance of Colony. Accounts holding GLUSD will receive a 1-to-1 account balance of Script. Okay, so if you want to get a nice starting balance of Colony or Script, go ahead and catch up on some GLX or GLUSD currently. Okay, so I've upped my I've more than doubled the GLX I have staked right now just for this purpose. Okay, not investment advice, but you can get this and get a 1-to-1 copy whenever it's forked, right? Accounts staking GLS tokens in liquidity pools hosted on tribal decks will receive a 2-to-1 balance of Colony and Script for every GLX and GLUSD held in the liquidity pool. I don't hold anything in the liquidity pool, and I can't really tell you anything about that further than exactly what they say here. Furthermore, as per the white paper, there is an airdrop for Splinterlands and GLS token holders, and accounts that stake SPS and GLX over time will be airdropped Colony tokens over the initial distribution. At initiation, there is no consideration for holding GLGT packs or node license associated with the GLS ecosystem. So they're not giving you anything for GLGT or packs or node licenses. Only tokens that are staked and not in the process of being unstaked will be considered for the airdrop. Warning, any player accounts that abuse and manipulate the GLX to GLUSD Oracle mechanism will be placed on a blacklist and ineligible for fork or airdropped coins. This is up to the sole discretion of the Invennium Corp. Now, I'm taking from this that, as we always have people that try to take advantage of the system. They've pre-thought about that, and my bet is they have some mechanism into place to pick these people out and ban you. Get the old ban hammer. The first open discussion of the Arcade Colony ecosystem will be held in the GLS Discord, once again, 1 p.m. Eastern on Friday, February 2nd. Okay, and then they start talking about the roadmap. Now, one other thing I want to jump over here. This is the white paper for Arcade Colony. And I want to talk a little bit more, not in depth, but I want to review the tokens, okay? The first token we're going to talk about is the Colony token, okay? This will serve as the staking, reward, and governance token within Arcade Colony governance, okay? Very much like SPS in Splinterlands. All games that are listed on the Arcade Colony directory will need to accept Colony tokens as a form of payment. So going forward, any game that signs up to be converted over to Web3 on the Arcade Colony platform will need to take the Colony token. That's very important to note. That's going to be a fine line that connects everything, okay? So the Colony token will have several primary uses within the ecosystem. Distribution as rewards in games, earning staking rewards, maximizing game rewards, reducing network fees, upgrading various player-owned aspects of the game, participating in platform governance, and minting new script tokens. Designed to stay worth approximately $1 through burning of Colony, more with script in the following section. So you're going to be able to, depending upon how the values deviate, you're going to be able to burn Colony and make script. Very much like, we flash back again to the Splinterlands ecosystem, where we're now able to burn SPS to make DEC if the values are right. Okay. Now the script token will be pegged to $1. Okay, the script token will have several primary uses within the ecosystem: buy and sell assets from in-game shops, buy and sell rent NFTs on the Arcade Colony marketplace, and use cases will be built into each game. Now to finish things off with a discussion about the totals of the Colony distribution. So what we're talking about is total up, maximum supply, 21 billion with a B. Okay, so the fork and airdrop is going to be 1 billion over 5 years. Liquidity provider rewards is going to be 2 billion over 20 years. The Dow has 2 billion approved for it over 20 years, with a quarter of it available on day one. The play to earn rewards has 12 billion available over 20 years, and then the validator rewards and MoonDome rewards have 2 billion each. And those release schedule is to be determined. Now, the details on the Dow works very much like what the Dow in Splinterlands works like. The Dow will be allocated 500 million tokens upon creation, then have 20-year release schedule. Airdrop and fork Arcade Colony is being built by the Splinterlands and Genesis League teams to recognize original players. A fork and airdrop will be conducted. A snapshot will be taken on February 26th, which we said earlier, at noon Eastern. Tokens will be distributed based on balances at that time. Now we have specific details. Now, what this boils down to is you're going to get a one-to-one match for both GLX you have staked and GLUSD. However, here are the basics. To get that match, you need 10,000 GLX staked, or you need 100 GLUSD. Okay. Likewise, if you have action in the liquidity pools, you need at least 10,000 GLX and or 100 GLUSD to get the match. That's what that boils down to. So if you don't have those and you want the match, you need to beef up what you have before the end of February when this match happens, when this fork happens. So, okay, so now on to the airdrop. There's a total pool of 1 billion Colony tokens for both the fork and the airdrop. Once the fork is complete, current estimates at 200 million tokens for, they took a look at what people have staked right now, and they're thinking it's going to be around 200 million tokens. The remaining tokens, 1 billion minus the amount needed for the initial balances, will be airdropped. The airdrop is not a single event, but consists of a series of daily airdrops of tokens for 5 years. These tokens will be awarded to players who stake SPS, and GLX. Okay, very much like the SPS drop we have now. So the airdrop will last 5 years for players who have SPS or GLX staked in those respective ecosystems. One change for this airdrop is players will need to have at least 5,000 SPS staked in Splinterlands and or 10,000 GLX in Genesis League Sports to receive either the colony airdrop or initial distribution. Further, GLX in the process of unstaking will not be counted for the initial distribution. So we talked about that a few minutes ago. Basically, if you want to kind of, I guess, double dip, I think most of us who've been playing Splinterlands for a while have at least 5,000 SPS staked. If you don't and you want to get in on this action, you need at least 5,000 SPS staked. And then once again in Genesis League Sports GLS, the magic number is 10,000 GLX. So you need to have that staked to get in on not only the fork and the initial 1-to-1 match, but going forward for the first 5 years, the airdrop. Okay. Additionally, this airdrop will not happen at a consistent rate. This is an exponential airdrop. This airdrop releases an increasing amount of tokens each year, details to be determined, which kind of leaves a little fog in my mind. I'm like, that it seems to me like you would have a steady rate. This exponential airdrop that mounts up over time sounds kind of odd, but they said details to be determined, so we'll hear from them when they release the details. But either way, it's an airdrop. Get prepared if you're interested. 50% of the daily airdrop will be awarded to SPS stakers and 50% will be awarded to GLX stakers. So any accounts which intentionally manipulate the price oracle from GLX to GLUSD will be placed on a blacklist. Once again, we talked about that. Liquidity provider rewards. Allowing players to get colony through exchanges is an important function for users to engage in the mini games that will come to Arcade Colony. Initially, liquidity pools will be established enabling players to be able to swap their script, GLX, SPS, Binance Coin, Ether, and Hive tokens for Colony. This is nice. This offers you a good variety of choices. Other liquidity pools may be established in time. Rewards will go to accounts which stake those pairs in an established liquidity pool. So you can get out there and get into the liquidity pool action if you want. Play to earn rewards. Play to earn rewards will be the most dynamic rewards pool in Arcade Colony. The amount and release schedule of Colony tokens available to each game's players will depend upon the size of the project, its partnership with Arcade Colony, and its market share. Any tokens remaining at the end of the 20 years will be returned to the Dow. We talked about Moon Karts. Moon Karts game will receive 50 million tokens per year for 5 years. And additional rewards pool for additional games will be voted on by the Dow. So when new games come in, there'll be a Dow vote to look at how much they'll be allocated. And they have a section on validator rewards. Kind of hesitant to talk about that since they haven't even released validators for SPS for Splinterlands yet, and that's kind of been put on the back burner. So we'll talk about it when they get more information and kind of get them up and running. I'm sure that once they get them up and the infrastructure up and running in Splinterlands, it wouldn't be too far behind for Arcade Colony. But I would be hesitant in investing in one at this point. But who knows? MoonDomes. This is something that I hadn't had any information on up to this point. At release, all games will receive a dedicated community MoonDome. Community MoonDomes are a virtual stadium that will host virtual battles, races, or other battles depending on each individual game. Over time, the community will have an opportunity to purchase private MoonDomes that can host other games. Private MoonDomes, as opposed to community MoonDomes, will earn tokens for all games played in their MoonDome. Interesting. This kind of sounds like something we talked about within Splinterlands a couple years ago, but I can't put my finger on it. Okay, with that said, that's it for this episode. If you find this information interesting and brings value to you, please think about liking and subscribing. Other than that, I hope everyone on your side is happy and healthy, and I will see you on the flip side.